Hello again, this is Steve Wolberg with White Horse Media. I'm at my office in Priest River, Idaho on the second floor, surrounded by pictures of my family, and I want to talk about God's family, which is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Google Analytics show that the name Dan Jackson is being searched quite a lot by people on YouTube and on Google trying to gather more information about the current controversy within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Dan Jackson is the current president of the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventists. I've met him a number of times, and my conviction is that as an elected leader of the North American Division, Elder Jackson qualifies as being one of the Lord's anointed. I respect his office, and I pray for him. And it's also no secret that when it comes to the issue of women's ordination, Elder Jackson has taken a very public stand against what is called a compliance document that was voted at the last annual council in October of 2018, where this disciplinary document was voted by a majority of delegates, which basically initiates a series of steps to discipline church leaders that will not go along with general conference or executive committee policies and voted actions. Let me read to you a statement from Elder Jackson that was reported in Adventist Today, which is a news organization that often gets into the fray of controversy within the Adventist Church. And on November 5, not long after the compliance document was voted at our annual council, Elder Jackson spoke, and his comments were recorded. And this is what he said. He said, quote, "In my opinion, and I know this steps on toes, I will never agree to that document. It was voted by the World Church. There was a majority of votes, and the General Conference will have to apply whatever principles it needs to apply or thinks to apply." And then he goes on and says, as a matter of fact, as I said the other day, we offered a way through by request to the president of the General Conference, which is referring to Elder Wilson. And then Elder Jackson said that was rejected. So what I'm saying now is that I'm praying that God will give us the collective sense to find that document in the paper shredders. He's again referring to the compliance document. He doesn't agree with that document. That document recommends proper disciplinary procedures toward those who refuse to go along with the votes of the World Church. And then Elder Jackson continues and says, "I believe that this church," and this doesn't sound pretty, but I believe that this church one day in the future is going to stand up in embarrassment and apologize for the absolute abuse of women. And there he's expressing his conviction that 3 General Conference sessions that have not approved women's ordination, and the compliance document that has been approved that recommends discipline toward those who will not go along with World Church decisions, and specifically in this situation, dealing with women's ordination, Elder Jackson has gone on public record as disapproving of those decisions. And, people are watching both sides of this controversy, and things in some circles, they are definitely heating up. White Horse Media has released a book, an ebook, called God's Remnant Church Divided. What does the future hold? And if you'd like to learn more about this book, if you'd like to watch a video about it and about the growing controversy within our church, within the Seventh-day Adventist Church, you can go to godsremnantchurchdivided.net. The book is very inexpensive. Not only can you get the book, but you can get my reading of the book, plus another sermon. And I think the video, there's a 13-minute video on our homepage on godsremnantchurchdivided.net that really explains what the issues are. And then the ebook goes deeper from the Bible and the spirit of prophecy, and I think the information is very valuable. So we encourage you to pray for Elder Jackson, to pray for our church, to pray for Elder Wilson, and to trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. I am completely convinced that Jesus is in charge of his church and that he's going to bring us through these difficult days and that he's coming soon and he wants us all to be ready for the big day. God bless you. And again, thank you for watching this informal video.